Hello there. This is Len. It's Thursday, June 18th. Lunch with Len. Good morning, everyone. And we're continuing our march through the 3-minute expert. Larry was, the reason I didn't start early, Chris, is Larry is supposed to be here and was going to cover some of the material. So I was sort of waiting for him to show up. I believe he's in Vegas also. Maybe he's in the same room with you. Maybe he's part of the noise. I don't know. Don't know where he's at. I do know he wasn't feeling well the other day. So we actually have a small group today. And I got to tell you, in all honesty, maybe you can help me. I don't remember exactly where I left off on Tuesday. Was probably somewhere in module 16, which is the most important part of your blog. So I'm just gonna start there and continue on from module 16. Ray's comments are that the most important part of your blog are the giveaway and the opt-in forms. What is the main reason, he asks, what is the main reason to create online content? And the answer is to get leads. Leads are the lifeblood of your business. Without leads, you don't have a business. It's all about getting leads. And the other reason, of course, to have a blog is to have an audience that you have control over, and control over in the sense that Facebook can't shut you down, YouTube can't shut you down, your blog, once again, it's your real estate. So blogging is Ray's favorite way to get leads. And he gets between 3,000 and 4,000 leads a month. Wasn't always that way. I mean, but he's been blogging, as we've said before. Ray has written a blog every day for the last 4 years. So he turned to the opt-in form as being a very critical part of the blog, and talking about, just philosophically talking about, what can you offer people to give away that will attract them to give you their name and their email address. And depending on what niche you're in, what is their major problem? What's the thing that keeps them up at night? What are they worried about the most? And what can you offer them? So the biggest thing that he saw is, he talked a lot about that, but giving the people that are on here today, and given the people that are typically watching this, I'm not going to spend a tremendous amount of time on it, because really I think we all understand that. He also has what he calls tripwires, small offers that people trip over, a $7, $20 offer, and he gets 20 to 45 buyers per day, if you can imagine that. So his blog really produces a lot for him. And I guess the message that he keeps driving home for all of us is that, we can do the same thing. It's just a matter of staying with it. And in fact, I finished I was in module 18 or 19 today and was listening to it. And one of the points he made is that if your blog isn't giving you if you're doing the things that he's advising you to do in this course and you're not getting the results, just keep going, because the results will come if you've got all the pieces in place. He suggested one thing, and I've been reading a book. I know you're reading the book called Ask Chris, and I've finished the book, and it's really very interesting. And I'm about to go back through the survey section of the book and try to understand a little bit more about all the details or all the things he does. But one of the things that Ray suggested was using SurveyMonkey to just ask your list, what's their number one problem? What is it that they would like you to solve for them? And I know I mentioned this last week, so it bothers me that maybe I actually covered this module last week, or at least parts of it. everybody needs to have an autoresponder. And if you're a beginner, if you're new to this, then either Aweber or GetResponse are the recommended autoresponders. His comment was that if you're below $10,000 a month in revenue from your marketing activities, that you can't afford anything other than GetResponse or Aweber. Don't get into Infusionsoft. He didn't get into Infusionsoft until he had $20,000 worth of income, and because Infusionsoft is expensive. So if you don't have good capture forms, if they're not converting, his final comment in that module was basically don't bother getting more traffic until you have a way to capture the information, until you have capture forms and giveaways that people that are converting. And I see your comment. Yes, ask is good. Is Larry still sick? And I had a Facebook conversation with Larry today, and he indicated that he was going to be here. So that's why I was sort of hanging on, waiting for him to show up. But he's clearly not here. So I don't know where he's at. Now, that's module 16. The next module, module 17, is how to add an opt-in form to your WordPress blog. And Thomas did that module. And I don't really see any need on Lunch with Len to go through that. I think that everyone who's watching these videos knows how to do it. I believe that I know I've already covered it, either in Profit with Len or Lunch with Len, I don't remember where. But I think everyone already knows. Let me do a quick screen share. And I'm going to basically do what Larry or what Thomas does, but I'll just point the pieces. And if anyone who's watching the replay has any questions about this, then they can ask me. But I'm just going to go into my Aweber and log in. I'm assuming you can see my screen. And no matter where I am, let me grab the Len Mooney list because I know it has opt-in forms. So I'm in a list. I have sign-up forms for that list. And if I look at my web form, that's the name of it. That's what I called it. There's a bunch of designs here that we can pull from. I'm not going to go into the details of how to create one of these things. I'll just go to the Publish tab. I will install my own form and grab the HTML code. That's the HTML code. This is simply a copy and paste operation. Copy and paste. That's all we do. So I copy that code. I go over to my website. And in the widgets, come on, website, you can go anytime now. In the widgets, and here's my sidebar widget here, or my blog sidebar widget rather. I have a text sidebar, and I just paste that code in. So I'm not going to do the copy and paste, but that's it. That's all we do. We create the form over there in Aweber. We copy the code. We bring it over to our website, and we paste the code into a text field in the widget. That's the sequence. If anybody has any questions about that, then I'm happy to go into more detail. We can cover it in more detail on a Lunch with Len at another time, or I could probably even send you a video that I've already done that explains how to do it. No, that one doesn't, Chris. That one doesn't. In order to do what you're asking there requires another step. What I'm telling you basically is what Ray covered in Module 17 of the 3-Minute Expert. That's the whole Module 17 right there. And to be honest with you, Thomas didn't do a whole lot more of that. He didn't really go into details on how to create the forms or how to set up a Weber or GetResponse. He basically did what I just did, and he did it a little slower with a few more details, but not much more. But no, now if you want to create an opt-in form that takes a lead and takes it both into MLSP and well, no, you don't really mean that. You mean to go into the CRM in MLSP and also into Aweber. I think that's what you mean. If you want to capture a lead that goes both places, then you have to do it in Funnelizer. At least I don't know of any other way to do it other than in Funnelizer. You got to make a capture page in Funnelizer. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I'm just going to leave it at that. There may be a way to do it from the Aweber form. I just don't know. I've never tried, to be honest with you. I've never looked at that. Is that the question? Okay. So that's Module 17. I'm basically waiting for you to say yes or no, Chris, because I'm going to go to a screen share again. And I'm going to cover Module 18, which is how to get more leads. Can you still hear me, Chris? Rick, can you still hear me? Now, if I understand, I don't know that I understand the question, Chris, but I believe I do. And if I take a form from Aweber and put it on my website, then the information entered in the form is going into my list in Aweber. It's not going anywhere else. I have to create a separate form in Funnelizer if I want the information to go into MLSP, I believe. I don't know of any other way to do it. Again, I've never tried to do it any other way. So, okay. Okay, yes and yes. So, I'm going to cover Module 18, which the title of Module 18 is How to Get More Leads. Ray recommended a book by Jeff Walker called The Product Launch Formula. I see your little bat, Chris. You're batty. I've heard of the Product Launch Formula before. It's very popular. I know it's there. I personally haven't read it, but I'm going to get a copy of it one of these days real soon. So I don't know much about it. But anyhow, Module 18. And I'm going to put up a Word document here in a moment, which is a summary of Module 18. But Module 18, building your list is critical. If you're not building your list every day, then you are making a big, big, big mistake. That's the message of Module 18. And I got a message. Let me look here. I got a message from, and I don't see it. Okay. I know I got a message from Carol Hill, something, but I don't know what it said. So it came in through Skype. Anyhow, I'm going to do a screen share. I'm going to assume you can see my screen. And I'm going to put up a Word document. That says it's Module 16 notes, but it's not. It's Module 18 notes. So I'm going to assume you can see that. Do not produce a piece of content that does not have a call to action and a way for people to come a lead. Full stop, period. And Ray admitted that he was guilty of that for a couple of years, of putting content out there that didn't have calls to action in them, and in blog posts in particular. But he pointed out that now, if you look at his blog, as we've seen and we've talked about in the last couple of weeks, every one of his blog posts has at least a PS line in it, which gives the person a way to go do something, go buy something, or go somewhere else. Plus the fact, of course, that the blog posts, his blog itself has the capture forms or the ways to become a lead. He went on and talked once again about creating videos. If you're creating a video, there are 4 critical parts: the intro, the question, the content, and the call to action. And I went very quickly through that because we've gone through it several times. So there's nothing new here. And his comment was that when you ask somebody to comment and share, that's not a call to action. It does not result in a lead. And it's not that you don't want them to comment and that you don't want them to share. You really want them to do that. But that does not create a lead. And he wants leads, 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 leads. So he says for 2 years he shot videos without a call to action because he assumed that people watching the video were already on the list and knew what to do. And he found out that his leads doubled when he started putting a call to action in every video and telling people specifically what to do. He also emphasized recording everything. Everything. If you have a webinar or you have a conference call or you have an interview or etc., make a recording of it and keep the recordings, because those recordings can become other things. They can become bonuses. They can become giveaways. They can be used. They can be repurposed. That's the bottom line. They can be repurposed. So he talked about a friend of his who did webinars for 2 years but never recorded them, and all that content was lost, where that content could have been used for something else. So, and I think you know. I mean, for example, I recorded all the Profit with Len webinars, and now I am editing those things and turning them into a course. So they were all recorded. And of course, I recorded all of the Lunch with Len webinars are recorded also, and I still keep using those. So record everything. Big takeaway. This is another thing that we've talked about before, but he found out that remember when Jessica was doing the product launch for her social media marketing course, and they did something different then, and they found out that it really helped to generate a lot of leads, and it's something that I've been doing too. And here it is. If you're doing a webinar, for example, I'm doing a webinar tonight at 5 o'clock. If you're doing a webinar, never, ever, 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 ever promote the direct link to the webinar. And for example, if you look at my ads on Facebook or wherever they are, or in the emails today, etc., you'll see that the link, and I'm not promoting tonight's webinar right now, but I'm explaining the process. The link for tonight's webinar is a pretty link, lenmooney.com/free leads. And that takes you to the webinar login page. But the reason for that, or one of the reasons for that, not only is it prettier, but at 6 o'clock tonight, I redirect that link. At 5 o'clock, that link is going to the webinar registration page. At 6 o'clock, if somebody clicks on that link, they're going to get a message that the webinar is over. But at 6:01, I redirect the link so that it is now going to the replay of the webinar instead of to the webinar capture page. So the link can remain active. And the point that Ray made is that sometimes people read their emails 3 days late, and you would be actually amazed at the number of times that I get an email from somebody that says, "Oh, I didn't open my email. I sure wished I had opened this. Gosh, I missed it. It happened 2 days ago. Oh, wow." And I can tell them, just click on the link, you'll get the replay. So always use, he uses pretty links. And then again, redirect the pretty link after the webinar to a capture page that takes them to the replay. That way they don't get sent to a page that says, "Sorry, you missed it. It's all over." Now, I made the comment, this may be more information than you need, but he's in his hot tub daily. When they bought their new house, and this is an interesting point, when they bought their new house, one of the things that Ray wanted was he wanted to completely redo the swimming pool hot tub complex, and they did. And they spent $80,000 on it. And I'm just telling you what Ray said. Anyhow, he says that, I hate spending big pieces of money like that. I hate seeing it going out of my account. So I asked myself, what could I do to raise the funds to pay for that? And what he did is he did a webinar to his existing list, and he sold 4 $16,000 masterminds. So 4 times 16 is 64. Doesn't quite pay the whole $80,000, but it pays a pretty gosh darn significant fraction of it. Dan Kennedy says, anytime you have a major expense in life, send the bill to your list. And while Ray admits that may sound a little arrogant or hostile, what it means is, translated, it means is, what am I willing to exchange in goods and services and provide value in exchange for the money I need? So always looking at ways to get your list, get your customers to help you pay for your expenses, but doing it by creating and exchanging value. So Carol Hill's still trying to Skype me. I need to help her understand that Skyping me does not do me any good when I'm in the middle of a webinar. Nothing I can do. Dan Kennedy, I said that, Dan Kennedy. Okay, so every waking day you need to be thinking about how to generate more leads. That was the bottom line, and he emphasized it a lot. One of his secrets, he's got a product called Empire, which shares how to win affiliate contests, etc. And he made the comment, if you want to know more about Empire, send an email to ray@rayhigdon.com. But one of the things that they found very effective, and this is something we've talked about recently, is creating a 2-step process. Put a video ahead of a capture page. So if you put a capture page, and like if you're doing social media advertising and you put a capture page out there, people will come to the capture page and they'll sometimes balk at clicking on it and wonder why they should click on it and if they want to or not. But if you put a video ahead of it and explain to them why they want to opt in and what they're going to get, and the video can be something that gives them 2 or 3 tips from what they're going to get on the other side, and entices them to go ahead and fill out the capture page and then get the product or whatever it is that's on the other side. So he went on to say that if you're attempting to generate leads by splattering capture pages all over social media, it doesn't work. But again, he said, if you're implementing some of the tips from this course, and that this word should be not, seeing results, adopt the mindset that I'm going to do it until, and just keep on going. So that was the essence of module 18, how to get more leads. And I'm going to stop the share, and with a little bit of luck, I'll come back to the webinar without hanging it up. And that's basically module 16, 17, and 18. And, while the recordings of those modules are each about, I summarized them. None of them are more than about 12 minutes long. I think the longest recording is about 12 minutes. So if you put 3 12s together, that's a half hour, and that's close to what we did. The module that I probably cut short a little bit, was about a 10-minute module, was module 17, how to put the opt-in form into your WordPress blog. But we've done enough of that I don't feel compelled to have to do a training on that, especially with the crowd that's here today. So that takes us up to and through module 18 of Ray's course. And there's a couple of interesting modules coming up that we'll cover next week. And then, of course, I understand, Chris, next week you're going to jump on and you're going to tell us all about Las Vegas. Well, maybe you're not going to tell us all about Las Vegas. Maybe you just tell us, about the conference. We'll leave the rest to our imagination. So that's all I've got for you today. Unless you have any questions, unless somebody has any questions or comments or criticisms or suggestions, then we'll just call it a day. And is the conference already started, Chris, or when does it start? I am waiting to see if I get an answer from Chris. Maybe Chris left. I don't believe that. Oh, I'm getting a kiss now. I don't know what that means. So did the conference already start? Yes. Okay. Cool. Good. All right. Well, we'll be really excited. Basically, if you're up for it, basically Tuesday's yours, and whoever else is there with you. If you guys want to jump on and tell us all about what's going on there. Workshop today. Okay, great. So you'll be here Tuesday. We'll see you then. And unless somebody has, again, any questions or et cetera, then I'm just going to go ahead and call it a day. You have a wonderful day, and we'll talk again later. Bye for now.